I've seen out there online, lots of people, or at least a handful of people, teach the way I do, using similar methods or very similar methods in some cases. But most language tutors do not do this. Recording in the car today, couldn't use the house for reasons I won't bore you with, but I thought it'd be good to record a video. I mean, things change, plans change, languages are just the same. You think you're learning something and then there's a new rule or something and you get a bit confused. That confusion's there to help map those pathways in your brain and get you thinking in the right way. So I wanted to talk today about, is it worth taking language classes online? A lot of people get private language tuition from a tutor. And it can, of course, work for people, otherwise people wouldn't be doing it. The business model would have died out long ago if it wasn't effective in some cases. But if we're talking about the time frame of things being effective, how long does it actually take to learn a language with a tutor? Do you think the average lesson would be about 45 minutes to an hour? It might be 45 minutes and you get charged for an hour. How many times a week can you do that? Can you afford to do that for a start? But what can you achieve in an hour? Now, I will tell you from my personal experience in my course that I could teach you a lot in an hour. There's a great deal we can do. So if someone was applying my method, one-to-one, coaching, live, maybe on the internet, could be effective. And it could allow you to learn quite a bit. But there's an aspect there of not being able to study when you want, things getting cancelled, internet connectivity problems. I mean, it's not insurmountable, but there are issues there. However, most traditional language tutors do not use my method. It's a method I've seen out there online, lots of people, or at least a handful of people, teach the way I do, using similar methods or very similar methods in some cases. But most language tutors do not do this. They will take you through a very traditional method. They will teach you sentences. They will give you grammar exercises to do. It's very old school, very much like the way that you would have learned languages at school, which I'm not a big fan of, even though I teach in schools. And I have to separate the two things in my head because they are very, very different. Private teaching is a completely different animal, and that's why I've chosen to put so much of my time and effort into building this course, is because there is a better way to teach people if they've got the time and the attention and they're able to commit and they've got the headspace and they're ready to do it. It's very difficult when you're in a class of 30 kids, for any student, even the ones who really want to do it and are paying attention. So a tutor is an option, but with the cost aside being prohibitive, we're talking, if you're lucky, 25, 30 British pounds an hour, probably more likely 40, 50, 60 for a good tutor. 10 hours is going to cost you 500, 600 pounds. 10 hours is a decent chunk of time, but then that time is gone. You don't get to go back. You can't repeat things. It's also just all you. You can't learn from someone else who's there with you. So personally, if you want to do that, if you crave that face-to-face live human connection, then that's going to be the way to go. If you can find a group locally where you can speak to people face-to-face and that's the way you want to start, absolutely fantastic, you go for it, because you've got to be comfortable. I don't want anyone, and I'm obviously talking about my course all the time because I want to promote it, I want to help people, I think it can, but I don't want people signing up to my course without knowing exactly what it is and then not benefiting from the experience, because it is not the traditional model. It is not a face-to-face video lesson. It is a pre-recorded real student experience, well, two students actually. So you'll be hearing them and learning with them on their journey. Now, there's a lot to be said for being a fly on the wall and being able to observe and listen in, pause, repeat, listen to other people's mistakes. We get to learn a lot just by observing people in the real world. If you think about any situation in a ski resort, if you've never been on a ski lift before and you're looking at the person in front of you and you're watching what they're doing, they're putting their feet in this position, and yeah, okay, you get the idea. You can observe and copy, and you might still make a mistake, but you've got a better chance of doing something well. So I don't think I would learn very well face-to-face with somebody online. It's possible that in certain circumstances that could be useful for limited chunks of information and for specific things that I wanted to know. But for a language, the ability to be able to go back over time, listen to recordings again, go through a whole 30 hours of material, which is the basic part of my course, to listen to all of that and then decide, you know what, I need to go back and revise some of those bits and to go back in, or just to listen to the same lesson 3 times in a row. It doesn't matter, you can do that and it's there for you forever. I think that's the advantage, and I think that's why I wanted to make it lifetime access, permanent, free upgrades. I'm never going to charge for additional material that I'm adding. And I wanted there to be a course out there that gave that complete peace of mind, that feeling of I don't need to rush.